Hey, hey, what's going on, everybody? How we doing? What's up? Xeno Killer, hello. Xeno, it me. It you. Look, we got everyone here. We even had have DedRam in chat. Unknown, Hillbilly, DD520. Look at you all. Hello. Hey, guys. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Yeah, it's been a minute since a live stream. Moose, hello. Epic, Depth, Lorenzo, what's up, my dude? Check this out. What's up? Yes. Do I love eating cheeseburgers? Yes, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Darth. Look at all you guys. Nico, Depth. Unknown. What kind of songs do you play? What kind of songs do I play? Oh, yeah, obviously. I forget that this is all behind me. It's all fake. This is all green screen. It's not real. Yo, how funny would that be? I do that just to make myself look like interesting. Yeah, it's totally green screen. Nah, if anyone knows where this is from, my official suit. If anyone knows where that's from, you'll know that that's not a green screen behind me. Oh, Stream Elements bot running. Why do I have Stream Elements? I don't need you. I don't need you anymore. We broke up, Stream Elements. Bro, World of Worlds is so cool. So yeah, I play all kinds of music. I do like indie rock. I used to be in a band. But that's all stories for another time. That's not why you're here today. You guys are here because we have some really cool guests. I've been getting a lot of requests for more World of Worlds content. And guys, there's just nothing I can talk about. It's been a little radio silence for a while. So, but got in contact with some previous devs that used to work on the game, and they don't anymore, but they did early on, and we're gonna hear what they did, what part they played, and why they left, because it's pretty interesting. We're gonna hear their story. Hello, Blanca. How am I? I'm good. Killer, I'm tired too, just a little bit, but I'm glad to be hanging out with all you. You guys are cool. Hillbilly, I agree. Yes, hopefully Raph will show us something soon. There's been some talk in the Discord that there were some major updates, so we'll see. We'll see what they are. I love tripods and Uberpods. I feel some bad news coming. Some bad news. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. So let's get into it. Did my music stop? I think it did. Okay. I'm very professional here. Okay, all right, let's get into it. So today we have some cool guests, and we're gonna do some introductions. We're gonna say hello. First up, we have DedRam. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Welcome.
It is
welcome. It is DedRam. Welcome to the stream. And we also have Slendy. Hello, Slendy.
Hello there.
So welcome. We're gonna hang out, we're gonna talk, and we're gonna chill, and we're just gonna do this thing. So say hello everyone to DedRam and Slendy. Let's get some aliens in the chat or waving hands, whatever you feel like sending them. Whatever just inspired is inspiring you to, what emoji you were inspired to send them. Please send them.
Hello,
Look at
everyone.
some fists. Alien ship pizza. That's a good combo. I wish I had all three of them right now. Okay, so how are you guys doing? First and foremost.
A little sore in the throat, but other than that, I'm all right.
I'm good. I'm all right.
So, I guess I'll ask each of you. We're gonna do like an introductory. So I guess, let's see. What question should we start with? I'm thinking of, we're gonna get around to how you got onto the project, but I guess first of all, what are your specialties? Like, what do you do? Do you do animation? What's your thing? So I'll ask DedRam first. What is it that you do?
I am a 3D artist and an Unreal game developer.
All right. And Slendy.
I am a modeler, texture, rigger, animator, and game developer.
That's awesome. I honestly,
All of the above included.
yeah, I'm honestly honored to be talking with you guys because you guys have so much going on. It's so neat. I'm really glad you got to come on, and so thanks for being here.
You're very welcome.
Of course.
Okay, so we all know, it's clear by the thumbnail. I've baited you all in. Ha ha.
They've done it.
These guys used to work on War of the Worlds, and they don't anymore. And I do want to get around to why they ended up leaving, but let's work chronologically. So, when did you first learn about the War of the Worlds game, and how did you get introduced to it? And what was your part there? So we'll kind of start at the beginning. So if any of you want to jump in.
Slendy, you start.
Okay. It all started. I'll bring you a little flashback here. I'll bring you back in time. Basically, this was a little bit over a year ago on the War of the Worlds Reddit. Raph posted his first video that he posted on his channel of the tripod coming out of the ground, or the tripod walking around, whatever it was. It caught wind of me and my friend group, and in turn, I know DedRam also in turn saw that, but he'll explain his part later. But for me, I saw it on the Reddit and was interested because of several reasons. One being, he's using the Digiton model, which in the War of the Worlds community is a very iconic model because it was one of the first 05 models to really exist publicly.
Okay, so this Digiton model,
Yes.
Where did it come from? Is this like the official name? Is it from the movie?
No. This was a person who made this in, I don't even remember what the program is called. He made it in some program that wasn't like a native, it's not like Blender or Maya, it's something else entirely. And the name of the individual who made it, his name is Digiton. That's like what his YouTube channel is. And he's a really nice guy. I got to talk to him once, but oh my God, the model. It's a nightmare. It really is. So seeing Raph use this model, I'm like, he's not going to get anywhere with this. He really isn't.
So that was your first impression of seeing this, I guess, pop up on YouTube, seeing War of the Worlds pop up on YouTube.
Like, why is he using this? Maybe I can offer my help.
Oh, okay. So did you jump in the comments or Discord
I jumped in the Discord and
Okay.
I offered my skills.
Okay.
And Raph was like, sure.
Nice. Did you have any backlog of work at this time to like display?
I did. I have a lot of things that I could display.
Okay.
At the time, especially. I was working during that time. I was working with my friends on a beautiful series that you can find on YouTube called Underfucked.
Okay.
I'm trying. That's just the name of it. It's not a swear or anything like that. It's a Gmod parody of War of the Worlds, basically. And we have been doing this for quite some time. But other than that, we were working on a bunch of animated projects and a whole heap of things. But we were like, ooh, he's making a game. I specifically, everyone else was like very skeptical about him. But since, again, we never met the guy before, I'm like, he's trying something new that hasn't been done before. Let's see where this goes.
All right, that's an interesting introduction. It's neat. It's very neat to hear the backstory. I love hearing how the beginnings of something like this that has captured so many people's attention, and so thank you for that, Slendy. DedRam, what was your experience? How did the same question to you?
Okay, first answer to someone in the comments. No, Xeno was not a dev. All right. So my introduction came through Slendy, I believe, who posted a. Oh, give me a second.
For context, I introduced DedRam to it. I sent him the Reddit post, and from there, we both kind of just hopped on the train of working with Raph.
Had you guys worked together before?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I'm trying to remember. I think you're back. Welcome back. Go ahead, take it from here.
Yes, I'm really sorry. Yes.
Oh, that's fine. You're good.
I keep getting interruptions.
How dare you have a life outside of this live stream?
All right. No more distractions, I promise. So, my introduction came through Slendy. He showed me videos about Raph's game. At first, it was really bare bones. It was a tripod model with a walking animation, and it was loosely firing heat rays at people.
And he's gone.
And I met Slendy through, of all places, and I'm ashamed to admit it, through DeviantArt, where he messaged me out of the blue because he saw my 05 model. That was really bad. I'm talking terrible.
Well, at the time, it was better than Digiton.
No, it wasn't. Like the one on DeviantArt, that was garbage. But so he messages me and says, "Hey, this looks interesting. You want to get in contact on Discord?" And we do so. And I start talking to him, and eventually he brings up these videos where it's a game based on 05.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, wow, this looks cool. However, I recognize that 3D model. It's the Digiton one, the really, really terrible one. And Slendy asked me if I could trying to optimize that model. And I agreed. I tried my hand at it by the only skill I knew how, which was the Decimate tool on Blender, which literally just slowly removes polygons. That didn't work. Slendy even told me he tried it. It didn't work.
I spent the better part of 2 years trying to decimate and optimize that model.
Oh my!
It was not fun.
So I guess to just help the viewers understand more so, like why that model is so bad. Is it the?
It's not that okay. For understanding it, it's not a bad model. It's not that it's a bad model.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it's
very
extremely high poly.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
not a bad
taxing
model. It's
on-
very taxing.
Okay.
It's a phenomenal
The-
looking model. It has so many intricate details on it. That's not even funny. All of the little engravings that you see on the machine, they're physically on the model,
Okay.
which is
Wow.
a problem.
which was the
because
problem.
That adds
Yeah.
detail.
It adds too many.
Unnecessary amounts of detail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of those things can be done with textures, but the program that the Digiton was making it in, it ran fine. So
Okay.
there was no issue for that. But since other people were trying to do it in other programs with that model, it didn't work out.
I see. I see. Is that something you have on hand you could show us, or?
Let's see. Let's see if I
That
have.
would
I'll
be neat.
continue.
Yeah,
I'll
that is-
continue
yeah.
meanwhile.
Yeah.
DedRam,
ahead.
you go
I'll
on and
continue
Slendy, you
meanwhile.
can.
So he starts talking to me about, hey, if we can't optimize this, right, and it's just impossible, then
He being
I could
Raph or
try-
Slendy?
Raph and Slendy, I
Okay.
think, primarily Raph, and we talked about making one from scratch.
Mhm.
So I decided, why not? Worth a try. So I get to it. I start with the hood, which took me a good amount of time. The lights, then the cages, I think. No, then the neck, then the head, then the legs, and then the cages.
Mhm.
And after that, that's like generalized modeling. After that came the details, right? And this took the course of over months. This was like, in terms of work hours, it was at least a week or so. In terms of just
Wow.
over time, it was months.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, it's a good model, but it's not. I'm guessing what he was after. At the time, he was pleased with it, but he's
Mhm.
obviously moved on to greener pastures or redder, whatever you prefer. And me and Slendy did he did most of the animations, but I did one of the walking animations, and what was the other one? I can't exactly remember that one. Yes, this one.
Feast
Ooh.
your eyes on
I'm feasting and I'm crying.
this machine. I found his website. So, little things like this, where all these little engravings here were added.
Yeah, because so normally for some viewers who might not understand, usually that's just a flat surface texture that appears to have depth
Yep.
to it. But
Normal maps.
what these devs are telling us is that every engraving, every detail was actually a vertice, was actually a
Yep.
polygon that had to be rendered. That's
Yep.
why this model was so hard to use. You're right. It's very nice looking. It's pretty amazing.
It really is, and it's a
But-
shame.
But so this model is this model currently in any of the World of Worlds game YouTube videos?
Yes,
Okay.
it's like I think it's the first video, and then I think like the first 3 videos, and that's about it.
Okay. And this was all mostly just used for like animation sequences. It wasn't really any in-game things.
No, nothing was in game.
You're like, yeah, no, that's impossible.
I don't even know how Raph was running that machine. It really made no sense. I weep for his computer.
That's cool. Yeah, it's really neat. It's really interesting. So you saw this. You got DedRam involved, and you said, "Hey, let's see if we can get involved and help further this project."
And we took it from there. We Raph, and well, I should say I said straight up to Raph, we can't be using this model. We can't be using Digiton. Not because it's bad, but because it's bad. It's just not good. It will not
Yes,
run
it
on
is.
anyone's computers.
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting question. So, what? Well, I mean, I guess it's interesting. Maybe the viewers don't care about your specs, but I'm interested. What kind of like specs you guys use for the work that you do? What kind
I
of computers you have?
have a 3060 Ti 32 gigabytes of RAM. I have an i7 11700K.
And DedRam.
I have nothing close to what he's got. I have basically like basic gamer rig, which is a 1060 mini, which only has 3 gigs of VRAM. Let's see, 16 gigs of RAM and an Intel 9th gen, I believe. So it's nothing impressive, but it's good enough to run most games.
I think I hear my dog barking. So
What type of dog?
I do have a dog. Unfortunately, I'm the only one home right now. So we're gonna do a quick break because I don't want him being in the house. I hear him barking.
What type
So-
of dog?
Oh, he's a Yorkie. He's cute. His name's Russell. Yeah. So maybe I'll bring him in after I take him out. But we're gonna take a quick break. Do you guys want to just entertain chat?
Yeah.
If not, I'll
We can entertain chat for
all right,
sure.
just entertain chat for a little
why
bit.
not?
I will be right back.
I could pull up DedRam's model that we
Yeah.
had and all that fun stuff.
No!
Chat, you're in.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
And
Hi.
he's gone.
And he is out
Hello,
of here.
chat.
We are now commandeering the stream. It is ours.
The twin princes of crime are here.
Exactly. Now, what would you guys like to see first? You want me to just pull up DedRam, the old RAF machine?
Oh boy, the machine that came before the what was it? What was his name? Eld. Before he came along, my machine and the animations we made were used. Yes, hello, Twisted Storm Chaser.
All right, let's pull this thing up here. We got. There it is.
Put on underfooked. No, we can't.
No, I can't do that. I won't do that. We want you share. All right, so this is at the latest stage of what it was at the time. Have took the time after the fact to retexture it slightly, make it a little bit better than what it once was. But for all intents and purposes, this was what it was. This was the.
I want to just say something real quick. I want to say something. Benanuk, the almighty bot annihilator, has suggested that apparently y'all should add the flying ones to the game, as if we're still a part of the dev team. But
no, I don't think.
first and foremost,
neither of us.
Yeah, we
neither
won't.
of us are developers anymore. We don't work for. We're not working with RAF anymore.
We're not a part of that. And second, I highly doubt he'll even add that because
I hope not.
Nothing like that is in the movie. I personally hope not either.
I appreciate it,
this
Killer.
whole
Thank you very
stream-
much. I know you. I know a lot of you here are a fan of Underfoot or are familiar with it. I appreciate the comments about that. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to celebrate that. We're here to talk about.
Everyone's here to see you, Slendy. They're like, who the hell is this?
Oh my god!
You guys behaving?
Right,
Yes.
Christ, that is a beautiful
Chat-
dog.
That
Were
is
they good?
adorable.
That
Russell.
is a beautiful dog.
Hello.
Say hello. Say hello.
He's like, what's going on? Why
Let
am
him
I here?
sniff the mic.
His little tongue.
Sniff it.
Let him let him peek the mic.
Yeah,
So
he's such a good
cute.
boy.
How old is he?
I think he's 12. We kind of stopped counting now. He's getting a little old, but he's good.
Oh,
He's still. I take him for walks every day.
Aw.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Seems like a healthy doggo, no
He
less.
does.
That's
yeah,
good.
He's doing well. All right, I have to get back to live streaming.
I don't think I'm gonna allow you to get.
Oh
I'm
my
not gonna
goodness.
continue letting you stream. I need
wanna-
to sit on your lap. Oh, there he goes.
You want to go bark at
Father.
people? All right,
Give me attention, father.
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 There he goes.
Yes. There he goes, the little Yorker.
We don't know when it will be released. We're not in contact
Yeah,
with
sit.
RAF anymore.
We have no idea, and quite frankly, I personally don't believe it's this year.
I don't believe it's this year.
All right, so that was Russell.
Russell is adorable. He deserves all the head pats.
Chat, were my guests being good? I needed to know. You can rat on them right now. No, thanks for waiting, guys. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
No, they were bad.
What? What are you talking about?
Damn, we were really bad entertainers.
We're bad entertainers.
No,
Yes.
honestly, cancel us on Twitter already. I think we've earned it.
Cancel you on Twitter already. Okay.
Yeah,
That's my whole mission. Don't you know? This is.
We said naughty words. I said hell, not heck. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
Susan.
so sorry.
Susan's on her way to right now. She's gonna break through that door.
On the case already. She's just gonna bust down that door. Hands up.
I would actually shit my pants. That'd be terrifying. I'd be like, there'd be so many questions. I'd be so confused and scared. She's like frothing at the mouth.
Definitely get into why
rabies.
Infinity.
And then you never see me ever again. Okay.
You also got rabies.
So we got you guys' your introduction to how you found this game. So what were your main functions while you were working on this game?
We were covering, for the most part, the machine, the tripod, in terms of modeling, texturing, animating, rigging, all the fun stuff.
And you both worked on the machine together.
Yes.
Oh yes, I modeled the majority of the model. He unwrapped it and animated a lot of it, and
textured.
I also made a probe model that didn't get used, but
I had a probe model that is currently, as we speak, being used. It was something that was made a very long time ago. Personally, it's not the best in the world, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be remade anyways. But for what it's worth, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad model.
So okay, so you guys are any of those models still being used? Curious, since you guys left, did you say, hey, like you can still use this stuff? Or
okay, for all intents and purposes, especially on stream, neither of us really care what happens to the models. For just gonna state that at the start here. The only thing that I believe that is still being used is the probe model that I had made.
Okay.
That's it. Everything else, I'm pretty sure, is getting and has been remade.
So what was the last point that you guys were working on the project? How long were you a part of it? And this could be like by date or by video that is still up. Or
how long were you on it, Slendy? Because I was roughly the same length as you.
We both left at the same time.
We left at the same time, but how long did we work on it? Because we worked on it relatively the same time.
Let's see.
Because I think it was like early 2021, was it?
I don't remember. Okay, new gameplay progress 8 months ago. 6 months ago. I think
Void.
It was approximately, I'd say, 6 months ago. 6-7 months ago.
Okay, so you were on the project for like a year.
Yeah. We were on this project for over, more or less, a little bit over a year.
Yep. And the whole course of it, we've only really worked on the machine, and that's it. He did everything else, from what I could see.
He was doing literally everything else. I mean, I managed to get on the project once in terms of physically being in Unity and actually working on things, but I will not get into what happened involving that for reasons.
Sam, I have a claymore on my wall. You do not want to be behind me.
There's a lot of people that we know from this. From
Yeah, this is
area.
cool.
There's a lot of people here. Yeah.
You basically have the better part of a huge group of individuals that all know each other.
That's awesome. So, we'll get into what you're doing now, but it seems like you obviously have a following for what's going on now. But before we get to post World of Worlds project, so you guys have left, and when I first found out about you guys, I believe it was in a live stream I did with Ref himself, a Q&A I did previously. I think that was back in August. But I remember you guys also commented on a video, and I think it was after that Q&A, I had put a video out, and I had mentioned you guys because Raph had talked about you guys. So I'm excited. If we go back in time, I'm finding out about this game. I'm super excited. It's been a really cool community to join and find, and be a part of as I continue to highlight indie games on this channel, and I will continue to do so. And then I see you guys have comments that you were previously working there, and it didn't seem like, well, there's reasons for why you left. So I'm curious to hear why you left, and what were the signs that led you to think that you would no longer fit on this project?
The game, as good as it looks for what it is, the biggest red flags is the potential legal issues that will definitely arise as a result of this, because I feel this game is very much in a state where the moment it is released, unless RAF genuinely gets a definitive answer, there's going to be a copyright issue. There's going to be an IP issue, because he's basically making this whole game where it's based off a major IP. I understand that he's getting sounds remade and all of that, which I'm thankful he's finally doing, but it's still the machine itself, especially now that he literally has a new model that is pretty much identical to the Pegasus kit. That is a bigger issue. If we could say, for all intents and purposes, it was something that was a fan-made model that wasn't copy pasted from a pre-existing model, I don't think it would have been that big of an issue. But now that he has a new model that is very close to the film model, and he's making money off of this without any sort of, that's the biggest issue. And it was the biggest red flag for DedRam and I, and the main reason why we both left.
The video, hallelujah. The video in question, I am, with the Holy Grail mentioning, is a relatively, what was it? How did you describe it? Like low budget? Or it was like a sort of reveal piece, tea spill, if you will, which was regarding his other game, which he's working on still, called Emerge NYC. And this game is, I didn't even know about the game before I met Raph, but I found out after, and I found out that a big YouTuber by the name of Markiplier played the game. And when I watched that video, basically the big notes I could make about the game was really low frame rate, even for a monster computer like his, right? And it was generally confusing. But I'm sure it changed over time. I wasn't one to pick apart just over that. But this video that someone made in regards to revealing, if you will, was demonstrating how he used clearly copyrighted assets in his game. And I think the
without
one
getting
that's
the
most
copyright
damning,
for it. Go ahead.
the one that was most damning to me that I remember the best was just he showed a screenshot or footage. I can't exactly remember. I need to pull the video up. It was literally just the McDonald's logo in his game, and it was just there, the golden arches. There they were, and I was wondering how the heck, how in the Christian heck, like what the hell is this?
So
Let me see if I can
give some
find it.
to give
Yes,
viewers more context, this video you're referring to is referring to Raph's other game, Emerge NYC, and this video was
yes,
showing up in the Discord.
Some individual joined the Discord
Mm-hmm.
when Raph was not online, and was the only one that could actually remove things and actually like moderate the server.
Okay, so this is like earlier on.
Yeah,
This is when Raph wasn't online in the Discord, and then someone.
came in, started spamming this video left and right. Nobody was able to do anything about it, and
no one believed him.
for a better like look at what it realistically was, it piqued my interest, especially because the thumbnail of it was two very, very identical looking pieces from one game and then Emerge. This game was GTA 4, I believe, that had it was some real life place that GTA 4 had, and I believe at the same time Emerge also had the exact same asset.
Oh, okay. So you're there was the moment in Discord talking about Emerge NYC, and we're talking about like things you guys noticed that is what is again. This is all for viewer clarity, so we can understand the timeline here. Is this something that you're saying is what led you to think about rethink about your involvement in this project?
This was already there were signs that we wanted to not be in the project any longer. We were the ticking clock of when this game was getting closer and closer to being done and released, with the issues of copyright and the fact that he blatantly ignored our requests to change it to a book styled game. Because for clarity as well, the book, there's no copyright on it anymore. It's public domain. You can do whatever you like with it, which is why there's so many new adaptions that have been released, new iterations of War of the Worlds. You have the BBC 2019 3-part miniseries. You have, I don't even, technically it's not, I wouldn't consider this one a War of the Worlds title, but the only thing that is there is the title. The Epics 4-legged dog one, I wouldn't really look into that too much. Yeah. Then all these other smaller things that were coming up because it was in public domain. I specifically requested to Raph numerous times throughout the entirety of the time that we were there, change it from the 05 to a book style. Now, while I do understand from a viewer's point of view and from a person who is a big fan of the 05, wanting to see these machines in a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I especially was a fan of that. Seeing that's the reason why I was part of the project in the first place, because I really enjoyed seeing that machine. But the issue is, unless you're able to get in contact with Paramount and get the copyright for it, be basically signing off whatever it is that you need to sign off, pay for whatever it is that you need to pay off in order to legally own this, it just won't work. It's just going to run into issues. It's an amazing machine. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the whole inaccuracies with the film and whatnot, because that's not worth the time. But the machine itself, the concept of what it is, just the machine on its own, on a standalone thought, it's a nice looking machine. It's a new design. Nobody's really seen it before at the time in 2005. It's something brand new. The latest that we had from War of the Worlds before 2005 was the 53. Which were the little floating ones with the cobra eye.
Yeah.
Then Spielberg comes out with his adaptation, and then at the same time, you have like one other adaptation that comes out also in 2005. And also at the same time, on top of all three of that, we had Jeff Wayne, working on his movie that never happened. So seeing this was like a breath of fresh air for War of the Worlds as a whole here.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I mean, that's what immediately drew my attention. And I'm sure the hundreds of thousands of people who recognize the 05 model with the views on YouTube, seeing that 05 model in a game, it was like, why did no one ever think to do this? This is amazing. And it immediately connected me with the film.
Yeah.
Neuron activation, yeah.
It was a nice idea. It's a good idea, but you're not going to be able to get the copyright for it unless you're a multi-million-dollar company. The only way that I see that an actually like good standing game based off the 05 getting made at all is if you are a multi-million-dollar company that can easily obtain the rights to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems like the biggest question that people have had. Just looking at this, I mean, you can go into the Discord and see people are always asking that question, and they say there's, a backup in place, which I guess is the only thing you can really do in this case. I guess it's not, because you're saying you would have chosen to go with the book, but would you say that's the defining reason for why you didn't want to work anymore with this project?
No. But let me elaborate on a point that you made, though, because I'll say this. I would say for a better idea, I know people want it to be the 05. Mm-hmm. You can make an 05 inspired machine. You can have something that looks similar to the 05, but stray away enough so you don't get into legal trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, I don't think people would exactly have much of an issue with it.
No, yeah, and from the public updates that they've shown us, it seems like they have made some changes, but honestly, like I don't know the models well enough to really tell the difference. To me, it just looks like the 05 version. Like I don't have.
Okay, I can teach you I'll give you a quick dive into how things look similar.
Yes, as someone who has worked on the project,
yes,
I appreciate your insight.
If you see something like this machine, for instance, and the details of it, so this is DedRam's model here. This was not using a lot of references in terms of it. It was using the Pegasus kit from a side perspective, a front perspective. It was just the base picture of the full kit that DedRam just modeled out.
Now, when you say Pegasus kit, can you explain that for the viewers?
Pegasus Miniatures is a website that you can order a 1:144 scale version of the movie model. Mm-hmm. It literally is the movie model to almost, well, not literally, it's almost the movie model. There were some discrepancies, especially because the 05 film in itself has so many inconsistencies in the design. It's not even funny. But it's a 1 to 144 scale of what they claim to be the movie model. This is a handmade version using two reference. How many references, DedRam? Who's not here? Good answer.
No, I'm here. I'm just muted.
Oh,
I'm just
how
letting
many?
you talk. I don't want to talk over
how
you.
many references did you use for this?
How many references? Oh,
Yeah.
that's hard to say because we went through a lot of them. We used for Under the Hood. We used a lot of references set later in the movie when they're in the cages and stuff. So it's like the back area of the hood, some parts of the front area. We used the Pegasus kit as a reference. I used that a lot, which it helped me get a general shape, which was good. It also helped me see some finer details. I found this website where it showed the Pegasus kit like taken apart or like the separate parts of it, so I could also get an idea through that, which is really good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Voice crack. And it is, yes, and it helped. I can't give you a definitive number, but it really did help with all these references. Nevertheless, this is the result with Slendy's textures applied to it, and I'd say it turned out relatively well.
For what it's worth, it doesn't have all the little engravings and whatnot because I never got the time to actually add those on or any of the little finite details that it's meant to have. But it has enough definitive detail to it to make it recognizable. I don't think so. Other than the times that you get captured by this machine, I really don't think you're going to really notice too much in terms of details. You're not going to see that, especially if it's a flat screen game or if it's a VR game. You just don't see that type of detail from that far away. You're not going to notice it. It's very small in terms of what the overall scope of what this machine is in terms of detailing here. Like I could have gone through, added the little segments that it has on the legs, the little indents that it has on the legs, added little things that are on the shield pieces here for the toes. But other than that, you really wouldn't be seeing anything up here, especially even if it crouches, you really wouldn't notice that as easily, even if it's dark or light. It just wasn't things that were needed for it, so I just didn't bother adding it. But for any sake, he used references, modeled this out. The newest model that I've allegedly heard and have seen glimpses of in the shadows, the newest model seems to be basically almost identical to the actual miniature, which
Wasn't it like photo scan?
I'm pretty sure either he photo scanned it or something.
Okay, so they're not using your model anymore.
They're not using
you
our
didn't like
model
hand this
anymore.
off to them.
No, they aren't. No, they aren't.
This is now defunct. It is no longer being touched. It is no longer being used, which I feel is meaning we no longer have any real ties to this man. Well, I mean, I do because I have the probe there, but other than that,
Okay, so the one remaining piece is, as far as your knowledge, the probe, but still.
That's about it. Let's see if I can find it.
Meanwhile, let's see, train of thought. So you're about to show the probe, yes?
If I could find it. If it isn't deleted off my hard drive.
I tried to model a probe. I got pretty far with it. I even gave it pieces on the front, which like folded out and stuff. Semi-accurately to the movie, but not exactly.
Yeah, so I just want to circle back to kind of where we were going. So I really kind of want to tackle the question that is on this thumbnail. So you guys left. I think we were getting at like reasons why you guys left, and I'm not sure I fully understand.
Biggest reasons were the copyright and the overarching issue of it seeming to be that this game was turning more and more from a passion sort of project
Mhm.
into a cash grab.
All right, Slendy, you get the probe. So what is?
Well, real quick,
Get the probe.
Slendy, how
Yeah.
I do want to just press you on that. So
Yeah.
when you say like cash grab, like what
At the
makes you think it's
time,
that?
at the time, I mean, I understand that it looks like he had put effort into it. I understand that it looks like to a degree that he put effort into it, especially looking at all the trailers and all the videos and whatnot. But playing the game, and I'm sure a lot of people here that are in your chat are probably maybe part of the closed Patreon that exists. And as a result, you get access to playing the game. I'm sure even you yourself, you probably have played the game. You can see a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of issues in terms of the art style, in terms of what specifically was being placed in the world for you to interact with. It was very sort of flip-flopped. It was very sort of rushed. No real effort put into it in terms of getting everything to look coherent and actually fit in its environment.
Okay, so what you're saying is like when you joined, so like what I'm seeing, like this bigger picture is when you first saw it, you're excited, you joined, you wanted this to be a really handcrafted project, and as time
Yes.
went on, you started to feel it was more of an asset flip.
Yep.
DedRam,
Yep.
do you feel the same thing, or did you see the same thing?
So with my personal thoughts on leaving, it was much shared with Slendy. With like, or over time, this was a buildup of like, should I stay or should I go? But yeah, so at first he promised the game to be free, right? Okay, noble cause. This fits the bill. It's all right. Then over time he started adding more, how should I say it, ambitious features such as VR support, multiplayer, stuff like that, right? And over time I sensed that things were taking a turn for the not so great. Me and Sunday and a lot of other people were wondering when he was going to get around to talking to Paramount in terms of copyright infringement. And then
He
short not too long before we left, I'm sorry, not too long before we left, he opened up a Patreon. And I'm not sure if the $100 one was there yet, but when he opened up the Patreon, it already gave me those like vibes of, I don't think this is gonna work too well. It
speaking on
was
I just
yeah,
sorry to
yeah.
cut you off. Speaking on the point of talking to Paramount, I will say this. He said that he had reached out to Paramount once
Mhm.
At
before,
one point, yeah.
and did not get a response. Then he proceeded to continue working on the game. That was the biggest red flag, because that is the point where if you're going to do this, if you're going to make a game that's based off an existing IP, my thought here, and I don't think that this is an issue, I don't know if anyone legally can quote me or is able to correct me on this or not, but if you're working on something that's based off an existing IP, it's better to make the game in secret, finish the game, ship the completed game to the company that you're asking for permission to make the game for, i.e.,
Mhm.
in this case, it would be Paramount. So everything in secret, ship that over to Paramount, ask for permission with the completed game, and wait for a response. And if you don't get a response, and they say no, then you change.
So for you, that was like the
That was
moment you
really
decided
the
to leave
biggest.
was
That's
when
the
he
moment.
wanted to
It's like he
pursue.
continued working on this after the fact. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was
So
not a good. It did not sit well with me at
you
all.
also mentioned that you wanted to do because of this issue with Paramount possibly squashing the game upon release after doing all this work, you mentioned that you wanted to switch it to the book, like base things off the book. So what was the response to that?
No. No.
So
he didn't want to. He did not want to. He did not want to do that. He was very, very, very adamant on wanting to keep it about the 05, which I understand. Again, that's why I set up the idea of an 05 inspired machine. That the book is so open-ended on the shape and design of the machine, you can easily create a plethora of like interpretations of what this machine could look like. And you could easily come up with something that is not breaking copyright, but also working with what the fans want.
Yeah.
But he didn't want that because I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that one.
People are asking in the chat right now if we're even on topic. And to clarify completely, with the title of this stream, we are indeed ex-developers.
We're explaining
We're simply...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. We are simply explaining why we left. What basically motivated us, what told us to leave, to not be a part of this project anymore, which seems promising. And I do not blame the people in the stream or in his community who are like, I cannot wait to see this game come out, right? And, to be told, hey, so was I. I was excited to see this game come out because I, too, much like a lot of people, I watched the 05 film as a kid. I loved it. It was like the first thing, War of the Worlds, I ever learned about. But, obviously I was excited to see something like this. But I, too, had my worries. I saw some red flags. I still continued working, though, because I wanted to see this succeed. And it's a mess, to say the least. It was a massive mess in the sense that we'll get to in a bit, but me and Slendy actually got to try the game on an earlier version.
Yes.
Because we were devs, we got to get a chance.
I'll say this now, if Raph ever sees this and actually gets this far into this, I appreciate the fact that you gave us the ability to try the game early. I feel personally, if you were allowing developers, people that you were working with, to play this game, I feel like you should have allowed us to be a little bit more working with you on this a little bit closer, so we could have given you... I wish you were more open to criticism about this, is my thought. I feel to a degree when there were so many things that we were pointing out to you in private about the game, about what needed to be changed, and a lot of it you were open to, and you actually did manage to change, which good for you. I'm glad. It's getting there. The game is getting there. I'll give you that. I will give you that for a fact. It is looking significantly better than when we played it oh so long ago. But there's still so many things that I feel you still need to change, and you're not willing to. But I'm not gonna go and rant about that now. It's not worth the time. But even then, the game in the current state, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. It is significantly better than what it once was visually.
Real quick,
go ahead,
I'm really sorry again. For Dave, for a lot of some people here in the chat are now asking if we're completely disconnected. I am actively reading most of this chat. I don't know about Slendy, but I'm actively reading damn near all of this. And I can see that people have strong opinions about 05. Some of them say that it is the best. It's like, okay, personal opinions, right? Whatever.
It's an opinion at the end of the day.
I could see people arguing about like if we're even on topic or what's going on, or like
you don't need to worry too much about arguments.
that. I'm gonna at some points I just point it out. But yes, what were you going to ask, Void?
So I guess to kind of there's a little bit of a rant there, so I'm just trying to like manage the conversation.
Yeah.
And Slendy, just wrapping up your reason for leaving essentially was the major ticket was
The major ticket
the
is
possible
continuing-
Paramount coming down
Yes.
on the 05 version.
That's the definitive answer. It's Paramount coming down, him not wanting to try and compromise about it, and that's basically it.
Okay. And DedRam, I don't know if we got around to your side of what led you to say you didn't want to work on this project.
I pointed it out like at some bits, but my biggest motivation was both the overtime changing of what the project was really about, rather from coming from a source of passion and nostalgia to mostly about let's make as much money as possible. And the nail in the coffin being that video, which I talked about. By the way, if you wish, I can tell you the title as well of that video, so those who don't know, they can see it.
Sure. I mean, so far, I mean, you've said this is like an alleged thing, right? So is this like proof?
You can take it as your own. If you watch the video, take it with whatever you feel you want to take it with. But what I've seen there, that it's a little concerning. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, the title of the
Did
video.
you see? I guess like with that. So you did see that. We'll go back to this topic real quick with the Emergent YC thing and the GTA asset flipping. Did you see anything like that while you were working on War of the Worlds? Like, was there any further behavior like that?
I saw a lot of Unity asset store assets in the game.
Okay.
I don't know.
But nothing like ripped or allegedly
It
ripped.
Seem like anything was really ripped
because
I would be scrolling through the asset store and I immediately spot something from the game. So it seems like this time around he used a lot more bought assets.
Okay. And again, that is also just something, it sounds like for you was more of a business decision where you didn't want to use assets. You sound like you more so just wanted to create the world handcrafted.
I wanted this. If you're going to make a world, I can understand from a game developer point of view, trying to make something quicker. I understand that he is currently, I don't know how many people are working with him at this moment in time, but when it was DedRam, me, and Raph, none of us, Raph was the one that was basically programming everything. DedRam and I, technically, while we were modelers, we were too preoccupied working on the machine, which was just a single asset. Even though it was the most important asset, it's still a single asset in the grand scheme of the game. Creating all these assets would have taken significantly more time. I understand why he decided to buy so many assets from the asset store. But yes, I would have wanted to make it a handcrafted experience, 100%. I would have wanted to make everything, or at least, at the very least, a consistent art style.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hear you. Makes sense. DedRam, were you going to say something?
Oh, any question?
Oh no, yeah, I think I had cut you off on just wrapping up or defining your reason for your exodus out of the project.
The exodus was, again, the video, and I saw some people currently pointing out that's like, oh, it's just the McDonald's logo. It wasn't just like the McDonald's logo, and that's pretty damn bad as it is, allegedly, right? But it was, again, also the using of assets that were not just like Unity assets, but actual company-used assets from like AAA games. And again, for those interested, you can search up the video. It's really easy. You can YouTube something like Emerge NYC, I don't know, copyright or something like that, and you'll find the video immediately. You could see for yourself. You could get your opinions on it. What you think is what you think, right?
So, DedRam, for you, for us, you would say it was more so that this video that popped up is what is more so what drove you from wanting to work on the project.
That was the nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Oh, okay. All right. So would you say you actually agree with a lot of what Slendy is saying about how the project changed or how you saw it advancing?
I do agree how it's changed too much in a sense that, like, obviously projects change, right?
Mhm.
No kidding. It's gonna change, it's gonna develop, it's gonna get further. But the kind of change that we saw was one moving away from passion and more to monetary gain, which, not the greatest look.
So okay. So with all of that, what are your thoughts on the project as it stands now, as ex developers?
I'm a little worried,
I'm
personally,
not.
because I'm a little worried for the fans because they're really, like, really excited and really hyped, and I don't blame them. And like, they're really hyped and excited for this game that they've been dreaming about, like a lot of them. And I feel like what's going to be delivered is it's I don't know. I have my doubts on what's going to come, and especially with the whole claim of VR support, I feel like that's going to especially be a little uh, wonky, if you will.
Yeah,
I
so there's a lot of things planned. Like there's VR support, there's multiplayer. I believe there's a big update on the way. It's been about, I think, 2 months since we've seen anything, so hopefully we'll see something soon. But Slendy, you were gonna say?
I'm really not that concerned about what's going to happen to this game. The only reason why I'm not that concerned is because it shows if this many people are able to come together and actually enjoy this machine, this movie as a whole, it shows that people care. And I think if enough people get Spielberg's attention with this, he may actually do something himself. But I feel like this is the beginning of what could, if while I feel like in the hypothetical world where this game flops, Paramount, I'm talking like worst possible scenario here. Paramount gets on Raph's butt about it, and the game gets shut down. I'm pretty sure Spielberg will hear about this. And I'm pretty sure he might consider the idea of actually making a game himself based off of it.
Yeah,
Is that a feasible thought? I'm not
that's true.
100% sure, because I think all of us here can actually agree. Oh, hi, Mo.
All right, let's continue the
No sass,
conversation.
no
Regardless,
sass, Slendy, no sass.
regardless,
We have our opinions, but
we have our opinions here. Regardless, I feel from all of us in the chat here, if we got a AAA style game based off of the 05, I'm talking Unreal Engine 5, extremely beautiful looking environments, just top of the line VR support that actually seamlessly runs. Because Unreal now, I've heard it has VR support now, and it looks phenomenal. And especially,
Slendy, real quick.
yeah.
Real quick, Dirt Devil and Chet, can you get any sources on that? Because I'm actually curious. He stated that apparently Paramount made a survival game or something like that 18 years ago. I want a source on that. Anyway, continue
Was it?
about
I'm pretty
Unreal
sure
and VR support.
I think he's referring to the. Okay, so Void. Just for context here, when
Sure.
the 05 game first came out, or not
Mhm.
game, when the 05 film back in 2005 was first getting like announced and whatnot, and there was this big hype trailer for it. There was a website that you could go to, and it had a top-down survival game that you could play.
Mhm.
It had an online, and it was something. It was actually a survival game. The only issue is that it didn't feature the tripods, but it was something. I'll give you that. It was an interesting looking game. I don't think there was a few trailers that exist of it, but if that existed back when the movie first came out and people are still showing interest about this film 18 years later, I will give Raph this for what it is worth. He has managed to gather a huge community of individuals that are a fan of this film. And while I disagree with the methods of what he's doing, I agree with the fact that he's putting his voice out and being the one that's kind of leading the charge in a sense to get the attention of Paramount.
So so you mentioned the methods he's using. So let's talk about that. So like Patreon. Was that around while you were on the team? And
No.
What are your thoughts about the Patreon?
He suggested the idea of it. And
Because to circle back, you guys mentioned it started off free.
It was free originally.
The concept was, yes, it's going to be a free game. It's going to hopefully circumvent the whole copyright issue. Not entirely, perhaps, but it would help, right? But eventually, he started thinking of price tags. He started thinking, oh, what was the first price you pointed out?
You said something 35? Like 35, 40 something originally.
Then he went to 25, I think.
He was flip-flopping between prices a lot. And I don't blame him. He was very much not knowing what the price was because he was still developing the game.
Yeah, I mean, so early on, I don't know how you could tell.
Anyway,
so, go ahead.
I am very sorry for constantly interrupting in terms of what the chat's going on.
Earlier, let them talk. We can just have our conversation.
you can't balance between ignoring them and then also giving them attention. But earlier you were discussing Unreal all of a sudden, and then the chat also went on to talk about Unreal. If you have questions regarding Unreal, I can give some insight. But yes, VR support is a thing. It's even one of the starting templates that you can choose from if you want to start making a game. And if it's really cool. I like it.
If Raph managed to get this much support, if he managed to do all of this, which is impressive, it really is. I'm surprised at how many people are actually fans of this film. I really thought the community wasn't as big as it is. If he managed to do this, I'm sure with the right people, we would be able to get something that's even better.
Mm-hmm. So we were talking about the Patreon. So what are your thoughts on the Patreon now? And as a follow-up question, what would you price the game?
I personally, Slendy's probably going to give his take. I'm going to just get my very blunt opinion out. It's egregious. It is I do not like it. The price of $100 or so, I think it's a bit too much for an early access test of a Unity game. It is very egregious.
I don't want to get distracted, but I do have a point I want to say about the fact that he said a Unity game. I'll get to that in a moment, though. The price for what it is right now, $100 for what it is. I haven't played it in so long. Neither has DedRam.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts at the current state of what this is? Do you think that do you feel like you had a wholehearted purchase when you paid $100 on Patreon for the closed beta testing?
Are you directing that towards the closed testers in chat?
No, I'm directing that towards you.
Well, there's also NDAs with that, so no one who's in closed testing can actually talk about your experience with the game.
But did we sign an NDA? No, we didn't.
Regardless. Okay.
Regardless.
Yeah, so
that's fine. Yeah. It's fine regardless.
I mean, you can ask that question to whoever is in closed testing for them to think
They
about.
can't disclose any
Okay,
They can't
just
disclose
to
any-
think
you know.
about yourselves. Do you feel that you spent a right amount of money for what you've played? Do you feel like that was worth the money that you've spent? Or do you feel what you've spent is, this isn't a question I want a response to. This is just think in your own heads here. Do you feel that this was worth the money that you spent? Or do you feel that this was not something you should have spent the money on? It's something to think about.
Yeah, I think it's a hard thing with Patreon, because in one sense you're supporting the artist. So we had talked before about artists need to be supported, right? Like, so if we want to see a project come to fruition, we support them. But then, like DedRam, you're bringing up, and Slendy, you're bringing up about thoughts about where's the line for choosing to participate in $100 playtesting or not, and ultimately that's up to people to decide. You know,
I feel
vote with your
like
wallet. But
I feel like from what I saw, and I'm not going to say any details. From what I saw, it's not worth 100. Maybe there's a Unity game that's really detailed, really well optimized, all that nonsense. That isn't nonsense. That's worth it. Sure, okay, but in this case, I do not believe that it is worth it.
For an
Personally,
actual price for this game, I would base this. I think a reasonable price would be $15 to $20, $10 to $20, in between that price range. I think that is a significantly fair price for what it's worth. I know that may not be what people want to hear, but I feel for what you're getting, I don't know. And this ties into an idea or a thought that I had. How are you going to make this game actually interesting, other than the fact that you're walking around and trying to not die? What? And this is something that I addressed to Raph so long ago when we were actually working with him on this. What's this going like? How are you going to make this stand out compared to any other survival game? It just looks like you're surviving and the tripods are just in the background doing their own thing. You're not really, there's no objective. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything of importance. You're just trying not to die in enclosed area.
I think you're right about like price. I think there's expectations. Like, we can look at other games that exist, right? And we can see what prices they are. Just for a reference, like with my own experience, I just got done playing. Well, I didn't just get done playing, but I did play Choo Choo Charles recently.
Yeah.
It's a $20 game. Really cool, really fun experience. Kind of similar in the sense that there's like a big monster. There's this open world aspect to it, but there's also story. There's NPCs you have dialogue with. There's missions. If we can see all of that come to fruition in this game, where there's, well, obviously there's not going to be a story, but if we can see like a similar level of, detail, care, and I think quality, then it would make sense in my mind, like you're saying, for it to be around the same kind of a price, like a $15, $20 game.
Yeah, I think that is I think Choo Choo Charles itself is a really good game. It was, for what it is, made by one individual. It is a really well-made game. It is the story, the atmosphere. It knows what it is. It realizes what it is. If Raph manages to make a game like that, in terms of having objectives to do other than just running around aimlessly, I feel, yeah, I think it would significantly allow people to play this game longer than the 15 minutes that they're going to play it, or the 20 minutes that they're going to play it. But I will say this, it does tie into my one point here. It's a Unity game. Unity and Unreal, you can rip assets from very easily. I am concerned on Raph's behalf that unless they encrypt the game files specifically, it's going to be ripped. It's going to be ripped completely. They're going to people are going to go out of their way to steal that machine. They're going to go out of their way to rip the machine out of the game. And personally, for the work that was put into it by the person who modeled it, I don't want to see that happen. I feel like they put a lot of time and effort into this, and I would think it would be a smart idea to encrypt the files.
Now, there's actually one question I forgot to get around to. So,
Yes.
Again, for anyone who is like joining, this is really late to this. These guys are people who reach out.
Yes.
These people who are used to work on World of Worlds and they don't anymore. So I was curious to find out their story. What was their involvement in the game? Why they ended up leaving? And also, if you are enjoying this live stream, please leave a like. That would help greatly. But there's a question I did have for you guys I forgot to ask about your time working on the game and how you see it going forward now is performance. So what was the performance like, and how do you see that going forward with this game?
I am scared. The game looks like it runs better. Currently, it looks like it runs better. But when I was playing it with a 3060 Ti and 32 gigabytes of RAM, it was running at like 20 frames per second, 15 to 20 frames per second. When I was looking at the machines, it was running at like 10.
No, but again, like this is back when you were on.
This is
like
way
a while
back
ago.
when.
Let's be granted. Yes, let's add
this is
time
not
to this factor.
Yeah,
we aren't shitting on the current version.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear about that.
We're not giving.
We have no idea
bad
about
face. We have no idea about that.
Mhm.
But at the time that we were playing it, it was running very bad. It was not a good experience. I was with Raf in one of the streams that he had done when I was playing it, and it wasn't running the best. But other than that,
Okay.
currently
NDA broken.
it looks a lot better. It feels like it runs a lot better, but it's concerning seeing his specs and the what it runs at now and the way that things are kind of performing now. I mean, it's better. That's what I'm going to say. It's better.
So performing now, what reference are you using for that?
He has on his YouTube channel one video that has a point where he is riding on a bicycle. I think it's the environmental upgrade video, and it is a minute and 18 seconds in.
Mhm.
It shows at the top left and the bottom left his computer specs and memory allocated and all that fun stuff, and FPS. You can easily see a lot of issues with that, especially with the way that things were kind of entering the environment and popping into the view. And this is all just based off of visual content of or context of just the video alone. It looked like there were some frame rate drops that were occurring there, especially, and it still didn't look 5 months ago is when this was released. It still doesn't look like it's running as well. It runs better. It just doesn't look like it's running as well.
I wish to chime in with further detail and
Sure.
a quick, super quick detour towards the chat. Yes, the sound effects for the game, I did hear. I like them. I do like it. It's a lot of the sound effects are wonderful, right? They're recreated and they're really nice. But I will say one thing in terms of sound effects I didn't like was the lightning sound. It sounded like a drum case being dropped down the stairs. Now, quick detour over. Now we're going back to this. The specs that are given in that video, I believe it was a 12th gen Intel, a 3090 or 3070 Ti, I forget exactly which one, and 64 gigabytes of RAM. That should be like more than enough to run a small indie game like this, right? Well, a small but ambitious indie game like this. You could play Phasmophobia or anything like that and perfectly, but that's a bad comparison. Moving on. In that video, you can notice stuttering, and it's certainly worrying. But hey, this isn't the finished game, so it's you can't really formulate an argument quite yet. However, it is still something to point out.
I did just want to point out real quick because someone also did ask in chat, and with us talking. No, not that. Sorry, wrong one. The release date we've gotten so far, I believe, is Q1 of this year. So it's January. So we have February and March left. So it should be releasing relatively soon.
Hopefully.
Sorry, DedRam. You can continue.
No, it's all good. But yeah, the stuttering that I noticed in that video really caught me off guard because it had been a while after I stopped being a part of the team. And I was hoping, at least in a slight bit, that it had improved a little. And it seemingly had. I mean, he looked at the particle effects and they weren't stuttering his game to an extreme degree, but I did notice, yes, at some points he had his game slowed down a good chunk. And I did notice some radical attempts at optimizing, which again, I'm sure he'll look into more. It's fine. I understand the process. It's going to change over time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this environmental demonstration was certainly just that, an environmental demonstration.
Yeah, and I think to like people watching, this isn't like a bashing Raph. This isn't a bashing
we're not trying to bash
video.
For what
Slendy, hold on, I got it.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's just we're getting some interesting information from people who used to work on the game, find out their story, but also I want to make sure that we don't look at any game through like too much of rose-colored glasses to see that, as DedRam just mentioned, there's some performance things that don't seem to add up with this game releasing so soon, and Raph has a beast of a machine. Hopefully, with this new update we see, again, they've said there's been some big changes. Hopefully, we just keep seeing more good things, and we see more good improvements to the game. With the game releasing very soon, these are just little things that we hope to see ironed out in this community and in the indie game world. We want to see excellence and really cool stuff from these games. So he's got a cool premise for a game. We're just getting close to release. It'd be really exciting to see what they have next, but also to continue to see things like this checked off, that performance is good, it can run on a good machine, things like that. There's still a lot to see. There's still a lot we haven't seen from this game as far as like more alien improvements or NPC improvements or things like that. But it's been a bit, so I'm trying to fill the void of there being no War of the Worlds content. So
when it comes to what Raph is doing at this moment in time, I'm not wanting, neither DedRam and I here are wanting to bash on Raph. I don't think neither of us really have bad blood with him. It's not an issue. We don't want to I apologize if it seems like we're bashing on what he's doing. That isn't the intention of what's going on here. It's more that there was a lot that had happened over the course of time that we as developers noticed and wished was improved on the grand scheme of what this game is. Because at the end of the day here, all of us really just want a really good experience. That's
Agreed.
really it.
Yeah.
We want a very enjoyable War of the Worlds experience that's based off of the game or based off of the film. This game nobody's done this idea. Nobody actually took the time to do that. And I'll give him props for what it is. He is doing something that nobody's done before, and are people and people are very excited to see. I'm still, to a degree, I am excited to see what happens with this game. I think it's going to be a very enjoyable experience for a lot of people. I think people are really going to get they're going to get their fulfillment of what we've all been missing from the film as a whole and from the community as a whole.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, like most games that come out. And so I guess it kind of wraps up this section of why you guys decided to leave. If anyone did miss it, this VOD will stay up on my channel. You can rewatch this. But
don't be so condescending. Like, I will say real quick before we wrap this part, like this specific section up, I will say, if you want a good look on your game, you want a genuinely good impression, to give people a good impression of your community, of your game, you should definitely act like you care, or, don't just bash on people who don't agree with you. There are some people I can think of in the community who will see a differing opinion or see a criticism, and they will think it's, worse than that. They'll, want to act upon it, crusade on it, whatever you will. And I feel like, honestly, I do understand that you care. You care about this community. You care about the project. But if you're going to act very condescending or rude in general, it's not going to give a good look as a whole. Like, it seems that it hasn't affected the community too much, but there are those people, and I'm sure they know who they are. Next bullet point.
We all want a good experience.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
We all do.
Yeah. So, with any community, there's going to be people who are super excited. There's going to be people who aren't. I think we can all understand, you go through this life, you can't please everyone. There are things that happen in life that are interesting and different or messy or weird. But I've been enjoying talking with you guys as XL developers. There's things I've learned. There's things I didn't know about, and I'm really glad you guys are here, having you guys on. It's just a really cool experience for me.
You were willing to allow us to even have this opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm all about this indie game sphere and trying to keep interesting titles on the forefront, so people are following my channel. And we're about to get into it, if you guys are working on anything now. So if you follow my channel, I like to highlight indie games. I like to highlight what's going on in the indie game sphere, and just keep truth and keep stories out there that wouldn't otherwise get out there. It's interesting to me. I'm just trying to turn my channel to some more of journalism here. There's going to be more live Q&As popping up this year as well. Now, going forward, you guys haven't been on this project. Is there anything that has taken place of this project? Are you working on anything now that you can tell us about?
Since I left, I'm very sorry, Slendy. Do you want to go first?
Up to you.
I'll try to make it quick then.
Take your time.
Ever since I left, and I decided to pursue some art stuff like that, generally making some nice art pieces, whatever not. However, after all that, I decided that game development intrigued me a good bit more. That, I have these models, I have these wonderful things, but I could put them to more use. I could give them more uses, like other than just visual candy. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to learn Unreal. Why not? I'm going to look into it. Over time, I learned it. In fact, I'm still learning it a little, every once in a while. And I've decided to pursue making a game of my own, based on the book, The War of the Worlds. So, shill. I'm a shill.
Okay. No. So you're currently working on a project based off of the book?
Yes.
Cool. How long have you been on that?
How long have I been on that? Since last year. Since a little before, actually, maybe during, no, before summer, yes. So roughly February.
Okay, awesome. Is it just you?
Yeah, it's me as the lead programmer and 3D modeler and animator. I do a lot of this stuff. Sam, he was in this chat. I'm not sure if oh yeah, he's still there. Literally just Sam in the chat is behind composing the music, which sounds really great. I'm impressed with what he's churned out so far, and it's always being worked upon. It gets better and better.
Mhm.
Then he also made art. There's I don't know how he goes by on YouTube, but he's either Kangabat or Tibet Tripod YT or what his name is. I don't know. He's made some sound effects, and they sound wonderful. They're great. I love to hear them. Other than that, currently, there's not really other people. I have another friend who's basically giving helpful tips on how to improve the map because he's from the area or generally the massive half of country. But yeah,
Is there anything from that you can show us?
I do have pictures and a few earlier videos. Not sure how I can present them.
I think there's an option to share your screen through StreamYard.
Share my screen.
If you want to throw us a picture, that'd be cool.
I have a few pictures. Let me think. You guys have a way of presenting these? Because I'm a bit of a grandpa here, I feel like.
Slendy, were you able to just share your screen earlier?
So
Is that
you
how you
just
did it?
press present, then share screen.
Okay, perfect.
And then if you have them pulled up, you could do it like that, or present and there's apparently a video file that you can just do as well if you want to just do it like that.
How about we get some pictures and then
sure,
we can check those out.
Can you see this?
Yeah, if I add this, there we go. Check this out.
If you're asking why the weird color, this was an experimentation with the red weed, so to speak, the turning of vegetation to a redder color. I am planning on improving it more, but yeah, at its current stage, it's turning the leaves of the trees and the grass red.
Cool. And this is all in Unreal?
Really nice. Yes.
Nice. Are you doing blueprints, or are you actually scripting?
I am not smart enough to do scripting. I am an absolute dingus. I use blueprints. And quite frankly, that already wrecks my brain.
That's totally fine.
Logic solving, no less. It's logic totally solving. Cool. It's fine.
A phrase that I have told myself that helps me with being successful is just done is better than perfect. You just live by that and you'll be fine. So Choo Choo Charles, that was all blueprints. I had Gavin on for Q&A, talked to him, did the whole game with blueprints. Yeah.
That actually gives me some inspiration, I'm not going to lie.
Yes. Hey, man, maybe connect with him. He might give you some tips. But no, this looks cool.
Of course.
That heat ray really looks powerful.
I've changed it since. This is like when it was still a static, so to speak, a static beam of light. Now it actually has a good effect to it. I need to actually take pictures and I am planning on recording clips. I'm planning on having it edited together to show a sort of demonstration of what could be a proof of concept. Because it's
and do you have a YouTube to display this progress?
I do. I have a YouTube page. I do. It's the same name as on here, of course.
Okay. So if people just look up DedRam, they can find you on YouTube.
They will mostly find just 3D animations or renders of various tripods or other stuff or something tank related. I don't know. And I'm gonna plan on uploading more stuff. Cool. I really am. I'm gonna try my best to upload. One picture in particular I do want to show is, let's see, stop. I'm gonna share. Is it? No.
Also, everybody, thanks for being here. I hope you guys are having fun. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like. I have some links in the description if you want to find my socials or Discord. Come hang out.
I am very happy yes, that people have come here. It is nice to
Ooh,
meet a
fuego.
large portion. It is a great honor to meet a large portion of the War of the Worlds community that I haven't either talked to in a long while or I'm just now newly being introduced to. The game is not out, no, but it is in heavy development. This is basically not even alpha yet, but proof of concepts are there, and it's slowly coming together. I am happy to talk to a large portion of you again that have showed up because it seems you generally are nice people. You are just excited for new stuff regarding either the O5 game or anything O5 related, or just generally War of the Worlds related. It's nice to see this.
Do you have any playable builds currently, or any playtesting availability, or you're just really working behind
No.
the scenes with this?
Again,
Void wanting
not
to
even-
slip
not-
in and get some early access footage.
No. No.
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, again, as I said, not even alpha. So no, I have nothing in terms of like a game build. I'm constantly testing. I'm constantly making sure things work because obviously there's plenty to work on.
Cool.
I mean, I'm getting around to making new things all the time, towns, whatever not. And I'm just generally excited for a lot of this. Oh yeah, videos. I do have those, but I guess while I'm trying to pull those up, Slendy, you can fill us in on what you've been up to since I've been gone.
Yeah,
Since we've been gone from the project.
I'm gonna have to wrap things up here
Yes,
soon. So upload those videos to your channel, and we'll definitely plug you again at the end here.
Will do. They're going to be
Slendy,
short.
If you have some,
I've been working on something outside of War of the Worlds. I mean, I've been working on Underfooked and all of that and all the fun Gmod videos that is, but I've been working on something a little bit outside of War of the Worlds as a whole here, which I don't know, Void, if this is the type of game that you would play, but have
Depends.
you played
Are there mustaches?
Subnautica before?
Oh yeah, Subnautica's awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, I've been working on a little mod that is called Return of the Ancients. It brings back the Gargantuan Leviathan.
Nice.
The skull in the Lost River. The really big
skull in
one.
the Lost River, if you remember that. It brings this creature back as well as an entire storyline that is entirely brand new and a different perspective from what exists currently in the game. I think here, let me 1 second. I will pull up one clip that has been shared around significantly already that I think you might get a good kick out of here.
Yeah, I didn't play a whole lot of I don't play a whole lot of games these days because I have so many I'm trying to cover.
Yeah.
But I did play some Subnautica. I did not play like a whole ton of it.
Understandable. You remember the Sunbeam, right,
Sunbeam.
Void? The ship that tries to rescue you.
Oh, okay.
That gets blown up by the giant gun. Spoiler alert if you haven't played it, but that is for all intents and purposes that. Here's the funny. Once this advertisement is gone. Here's screen share. Boom. I love advertisements.
I better be getting paid for this.
You will be getting paid for it. All right.
Aurora, we see you. Man, whatever hit you guys really messed up your ship.
So is this something you're working on?
Yes.
Oh, nice. So is this your channel?
No.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
This is not my channel.
Hi.
Not at all. This is just
Hi.
someone re-uploading without any commentary over it. All the other YouTubers that have already made content on this, they have their voices over it. This is like the one channel that I've seen here that doesn't have anybody speaking over the full scene.
Okay.
Captain, you're gonna want to take a look at this.
Is that a building down there?
It appears so, but I can't identify it.
What do you mean you can't identify?
Doesn't come up on the system.
Look, it's not important right now. Boys, brace yourselves. We're breaching atmosphere in 10, 9, 8. Wait, what's that?
What?
No, that energy spike.
It's getting larger.
From the building? Everyone get to the escape pods now. I don't think I'll be able to steer clear of it. Mayday,
Nice.
mayday. Thrusters have taken heavy damage. Bracing for impact. What the hell?
Nice. Yeah, be big.
Oh, yes.
my god! It's fucking huge!
Profanity.
Get you to safety.
I believe it's allowed for this once.
You get one. That was your one.
That's your one.
My one.
I hope you
That thing survived quite a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah. So that's just a little taste. People have already seen this video. It's been out for quite some time. But for the most part, it is very much something I've been working on here. It is
Cool.
been a pain in my butt, but that is, yeah, that's really what I've been working on. I'm very proud of what it's come to so far and all of the work that's been put into it. All of it was hand animated, by the way. It
Okay.
was a very tedious process. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's super cool, man. So you plan to keep just following that and then do
For
more
now,
mods in the
yeah.
future? Okay.
One
For
thing
now.
I will ask, is that the actual voice actor? Because it's so
Oh,
very
yeah.
similar.
So we hired the
Yeah.
actual voice actor from the
Oh, cool. Cool. Nice. That's cool. You went all official with that. So I'm going to be wrapping things up here, but I have to ask your profile photos. What are they from? And Slendy, is that Poppy Playtime? Is that the hand?
No.
Okay, because it looks like it.
I know
if
it
anyone has
looks
played
like
Poppy Playtime, there's a
No,
little hand that
that's-
comes out.
So my friend, Red Dollar 555 or Kester, he and I worked on a Slenderman animatronic.
Oh, cool.
It is the hand of that.
Okay. And DedRam.
Mine is it's a silhouette of my fighting machine design in my own game. One thing I will say before everything completely wraps up, I've been requested by a specific individual. I would like to point out the famous Xeno1237. He is a fine gentleman, a good man, a nice man, an amazing man. Finest man I've ever met.
It must be paying you a lot to say that.
No. I wish, though. I'm underpaid. Please pay me.
Cool. Well, guys, do you have one last time? Anything? Plug your sites, where people can find you, and the projects you're working on. DedRam, go for it.
Yes.
Yeah, just like you can plug like what's your handle, what's your socials for your projects that you're working on your YouTube. So DedRam is just your YouTube name.
Yeah, I do have a Twitter, but it's linked to the YouTube. Expecting soon.
Okay.
It's slow, but expect things.
And Slendy.
I don't really I don't have anything to plug, just my
Okay.
Discord really, and the projects of Return of the Ancients, and then Red Doll 555 for under.
Okay.
That's really it.
Okay. Cool. Well, chat, can we wave off DedRam and Slendy? Thank you guys so much for coming on. This was really cool talking to you guys. See what you're working on.
We appreciate the opportunity.
It was nice talking to the people. It was nice talking to you. You're a really nice individual.
Oh, I appreciate
And
that.
Slendy, I'm going to be honest. It was nice talking to you again as well. It's been a
Talking
while.
to you as well. It has been.
Oh,
Talking
look at
over you has never felt better.
that. All right, I will I'll catch you guys after the stream ends. All right.
Yes.
Of course.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Take care.
Have
Take
a
care,
good one,
everyone.
guys.
All right, cadets. Check it out. That was fun. I hope you guys had fun. That was really cool. Thank you guys for all being here. This has been really cool. Oh, I forgot to do viewer questions. Oh my goodness. Oh, how could I do that? Oh well. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This VOD will be up on my channel. I've done other Q&As. I've done a Q&A with Raph. I've done a Q&A with Gavin from Spooky Chain Game. Choo Choo Charles. I couldn't remember the name of it. Tripod needle. Ooh, let's hope so. I think they might. If you guys want to join my Discord, just hang out. It's in my description. There should be a link tree for that. And if you guys haven't seen my latest video, I had a lot of fun making that. It's about the day before a game being supposedly canceled. I had a lot of fun putting energy into that video. So if you haven't seen that, have fun watching that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and having fun. If you guys want to subscribe, become a cadet today, join the community, join the ship. I'd appreciate that. If not, it's all right. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys next time. Peace.